Okay, continuing with the 1 BPH complementary coordination pattern series, we're going to start with patterns that you execute with a single lever. So keeping with the theme of one strike to the left ear, one strike to the right ear, the first one we're going to look at is the X. If you've been doing Filipino martial arts longer than a little bit, you've made a pattern like this, and it's either going to be called a figure 8 or an X, something similar. I actually have a different name for it. I call it a horizontal hourglass, but that's irrelevant to our terms or to our needs right now. So as I make the X with my right lever, I hit his left ear, I hit his right ear. If I've got a partner also swinging his right lever, the forehand connects to forehand, the backhand connects to backhand. It just goes crack, crack. Most of you have probably done this before. What I want to look at is how I can flow from the right lever to the left lever and not break a beat and keep my opponent supplied with a lever to hit every time. In order to teach you that, I need to teach you first the difference between what the Filipino folks call witik and labtik and what I call chop and slice. Let's take this half of the X. This is a number 1 strike in many systems, okay? If I go to the center plane, the contested plane, and I retract, that's a chop. That's a chopping number 1. That's a chopping number 2. I retract to where it came from. Okay, when I'm making the X though, I'm not chopping, I'm slicing. I go through the center plane and come back. Slice, slice, slice. Now, showing you from the side, there are two different ends of a spectrum of how you vary slicing. I can slice through and stop my lever in a position roughly in line with my arm, bring the tip up and do the other side. And that's a form of slicing. It's a little faster, you get to your next attack a little quicker, a little less power. Also, your hand has to work harder to do it that way. I can also allow, after I slice through, allow my tip to twirl into position before the next one and then allow it to twirl. And that's more of a twirling X. I consider the twirling X to be more efficient for going from side to side. However, when I want to do a hard hit, sometimes I may not take the time to twirl all the way back. I may do the little more muscled locking out and going to the next one. It just depends on what I'm feeling and the rhythm I need to keep up. So there's even more than one way to simply do the X. So chopping is rebounding, slicing is going through. Why is that important? If I want to go from a right side X and flow into a left side X and not disappoint my partner by not presenting my lever at the right moment for him to hit, I have to chop one of the forehands. There's some more terminology that you may not understand. If you've never played tennis or ping pong, you may not know that any strike which starts from the right side of my body, assuming I'm holding the lever in my right hand, any strike that starts from the right side of my body is a forehand motion. Any strike that starts from the left side of my body, over here in this hemisphere, is a backhand motion. Okay, so when I'm making the X, I'm making a forehand and a backhand. Now we're all on the same page for terminology. Okay, I don't chop the backhand if I want to flow to the other lever. Instead, I will chop the forehand. So I'm making the X, and I chop a forehand and go right to the other one. So I go forehand, forehand, and I start slicing on that side. And I will not disappoint my partner. He'll have a nice lever to hit. And I just repeat the process over here. So every time I chop that forehand and go right into the slicing forehand on the other side, I have successfully continued the 1 BPH concept with my partner. And that's our first exercise for 1 BPH. Now you can do the X both with the right lever and the left lever.